moment when Brett and Matt were talking about season 1 at SNL, because I watched the SNL skit, the open, when they were doing the R. Kelly thing. It was awful.
It wasn't good.
It was, the premise is good. There were no funny jokes at all. Nothing was funny, and those
I got
two
love
are funny.
from my couple of my buddies that are in the cast, but it's like sometimes they're grasping at straws because they're scrambling like, oh, this just happened. We need to do our own variation of this.
It was brutal. There was nothing funny about it.
That opening sketch, no. It felt like they missed beats throughout it. Leslie was looking at and it felt like there were missing moments. Well, usually those two couldn't hit it.
It was just the timing
magician
was
sketch
so
was terrible too.
That was the only one I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just because I wanted to watch it because that clip was so funny. I was like, they're gonna get some gold out of this.
Yeah.
It was a dud.
Yeah, it was 7-8 minutes.
Which I can't wait to go back home and just have all this glory talking about this idiot. It's just gonna be so beautiful.
Yeah.
But wait, the one thing though, I found out. Let's see what you guys think of this. Last night we were searching for that soccer sketch that they did that made fun of Arsenal, made fun of like Sky Sports and soccer and all that Idris Elba did, playing a dumb player who says homophobic and misogynistic shit, which was very, very funny.
But
they took it down. It's nowhere on the internet.
Wow.
The only place you can see the sketch is if you watch on YouTube TV. If you watch the whole episode, it shows up.
But they actually aired it that night.
They aired it that night, and you can we watched it last night, going back and watching the whole episode. But you cannot find the sketch taken out. They took it down, and I don't know why.
This is a tricky part of the world right now because comedy is going to suffer from the way that and it already has. The way that the world is, because like I said, like my thing, and I stick by this, and I don't care if it's not right to say or anything too. The comedy club is a church for comedians. It is where you should be able to try anything that you want, anything, no matter what it is. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone has to like what you're saying. It doesn't mean that everyone has to laugh. People can choose to look at you and hate you for what you're saying, but it is your right to say, now this does not include what that imbecile Michael Richards did back at the Laugh Factory.
Right. Well,
that is not comedy. That is a blatant, angry moron screaming racial stuff. That's not what I'm talking about.
Well, at somebody too.
Correct. As an insult. I'm talking about the perfect example, and I say it, and I said it last time when I went to Mitzi Shore's ceremony that they had for her at the Comedy Store. Brian Holtzman, who's one of the best comedians that you don't know, he is incredible, and everything out of his mouth, if he was on this show or on Twitter, they would go after him and say, oh my God, how could you do this? And it was tears and stitches funny. And it takes away from comedy to where you sometimes when everybody's like, oh my goodness, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with you're gonna hurt people because Again, I understand messages. I understand the fights, but comedy's taken a huge hit because of this.
And also, you have a lot of, because I'm privy to see this, unfortunately, in a lot of open mics now, when you get a lot of dudes who don't have jokes. They just want to say a bunch of racist bullshit.
But they're still on stage and they can try to do it.
Yeah, I get that.
They can try to do it.
You can try to do it.
But
the problem is you have those guys who then go, oh, people were trying to stifle me. They didn't want to hear this. No, nobody did shit.
But there's a difference there, Jay. You can go up and you can try it, and then you can go, dude, that wasn't funny. That was just racist. You better make that shit funny.
Well, no, luckily, people would hate those type of people. I've had to go behind them, and I said, fuck my whole set, basically. I'm going to talk about you, but I know how to do it where it's funny.
Right.
And I'm laying into you.
That's the George Carlin thing.
I know how to do it.
Anything is funny. Anything can be funny. Yeah. But you've got to be the right person to make it funny.
Yeah.
Because you can go up there, because all those idiots that you're talking about at open mic that are trying these jokes, you give that to a seasoned comedian or someone else
who knows what they're doing
and has a different tone and has a different personality. They can make the same joke, the same premise funny. They do it with their spin on it. So that's why the comedy club you should be allowed to try anything. Look, there's a difference, and there's something to be said about going to if you're doing an open mic at a restaurant.
People having dinner and everything.
Yeah, if people aren't necessarily there for the comedy show, then you got to be conscious of that. But if you're in the OR, the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, you should be able to do whatever you want to do and
if
try.
If you are in an actual OR.
Yes,
you shouldn't. You should probably not be doing jokes at all.
If you're the surgeon, you probably will.
Just let the surgeon do that.
Well, some surgeons probably crack jokes when they got somebody open.
I saw Patch Adams. I thought that was.
Can I ask about? Can we go back to SNL for a second, though? Can I ask? Is network television just no longer? I mean, we've got the internet now where people can put filthy, boundary pushing things out. We've got cable, we've got Netflix, where you've got shows like Big Mouth, which is I
love Big Mouth.
But now, does it mean that is SNL gonna die? You know,
That's
because
a great
it's
question,
because it's network
Well,
television,
we've had
so
that-
everything has to be watered down.
That discussion's
you know what I mean?
come up before Will Ferrell's class. Right before Will Ferrell's class, it was like, well, SNL is about to die.
Right.
And so it goes
They've
through
been
those
saying
different.
that forever.
They've been saying that forever.
But
so
for
it goes.
different reasons.
No,
like now, what she's talking about is the restriction of comedy.
No, I
versus
get.
back
I
then it
absolutely
was
get it.
That people aren't funny.
But I think I don't think it'll go anywhere because of the way SNL plays itself.
Yeah. Well, you know, here's the thing I don't like about it, but it's also the reason that keeps them on the air is they've gone very political.
Yeah, and that's what I'm bringing up. Yeah,
They've gone very political, and the reason it's almost like the only reason I watch it now is I think Jost and Michael Che are great.
Yeah, they're very funny.
I watch because I also like to get caught up some more on some of the news that's going on, you know, too. And I think that's something the Daily Show's done. And but the reason they stay on is because when they do big segments, whether it's funny or not, with Baldwin coming in, I'm sick to death of the Trump thing with
I
Baldwin.
think everybody's
I'm so sick of
I
it.
agree.
It's not funny
He
anymore.
probably is too.
they burnt it out real quick.
Oh man, all he does is do the perch the lips thing. It's the same bit over and over again. It's like, dude, we get it. Just do
Also,
something
we're
else.
just sick of Trump in general.
Yeah.
But I mean, but even so, it's like that's the tricky thing because it's such a left wing show, Saturday Night Live, that that is where you're going there. You're not going to go there if you're watching Fox News, especially after Trump's blasting it. It's probably taking a huge hit. However, it's probably also upped its amount of viewers from the people who are on the far left that just want to watch it. So that's where they get their ratings from. That's what they're able to do. I mean, my personal opinion is it's why it's so not funny anymore because that's all they try to do, and the stuff that they try to do, the original stuff, it just doesn't work anymore. They've gone away from those Wayne's World type characters and the things that they used to make.
It used to be
funny.
character driven,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even like the Will Ferrell, like the cheerleaders. Everybody,
Oh,
you
the
know,
cheerleaders
like,
are the greatest.
even Kristen Wiig, I feel like they sell the small hands now. It's like a board game. Like you know,
they're reaching. Like you said, you can't go from one thing showing that hey, we're going to talk about all this political stuff, and then say hey, we got a cute little character sketch over here because it's like it doesn't fit.
Well,
at times.
but they were always political. They've always been political.
Yeah, but they haven't been overly
They've been
political.
they're smashing you over the head with politics now, and it's like it's just too much. Because Will Ferrell used to do Bush all the time.
But
it was
just
more
think,
goofy.
I think that it's a weird thing because you look at Trump. Trump within himself is a sketch comedy show every day, and so you're like, well, how can you improve upon that on the show? It's almost overkill. So it feels that way. It feels like why are you making fun of a guy that's so easily make funnable? And Leno was on Today's Show talking about it. He goes, comedy was so much easier back when Clinton was horny and Bush was dumb. Now it's just everyone's very tribalistic. So so SNL gets painted with this left brush, but because there's no really big Democratic people to come out and act the fool that they can make fun of that overtly. But once this cycle of nominees comes through for 2020, they're gonna rip and make fun of them.
Again, shout out to Black Twitter on that
swinging
note
back
because
up.
Black Twitter
will.
don't cut everybody down real quick.
No, they
Over to you, Black
always
Twitter.
take shots at people, but I mean they're clearly driven towards the left side of things. I mean they just.
I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they are.
I mean because they've popped shots at Hillary Clinton before too, but you can tell in the way that they do it. It's more like they're just kind of the. Old impressionist flattery thing works for the Clinton side of things when they do it, but it's clearly not that for Trump.
Because it's mockery. It goes from impressionist.
Right. So I mean, it's pretty clear.
It's ironic because this episode was probably one of the most daring episodes that I've ever seen. Like the WNBA sketch, I thought was hilarious, and people were up in arms about it because it was these three dudes who were trying to gold dig with the WNBA women, trying to get that middle class money, making fun of how little the WNBA. So it was subtly a brilliant sketch, but people were bitching saying,
and that's why
you stereotype the women as lesbians.
Why season one used to do. Season one was you didn't see that type of stuff on television, and they would take shots and they would go after things, and I think that Saturday Night Live should continue to do that. And as much as even though Pete Davidson has been doing it,
he got in trouble for that too.
Of course he did, but that's what his shtick is now, and his thing is but he needs to know like what he was doing when he made fun of the vet. He did it wrong. He did it wrong, and he admitted that he did it wrong.
He brought the guy on.
Brought him on and apologized because the way he just kind of disregarded the guy's service and knew he was wrong about it. But going into it, the actual joke about what the guy looked like was funny. It was just it was afterwards where he just disregarded the guy's service that everyone rightfully got mad at. But then Pete apologized. But Pete going after
the Catholic Church.
this past weekend.
That's how you got to do it.
It was
That's
2
how you gotta-
lines, and he was getting so much shit. I'm like,
But
this
also,
is brilliantly
that
funny.
it starts in the writer's room, first and foremost.
Right.
It's not pretty much. It doesn't all fall on the performance. It starts in that writer's room when they're brainstorming ideas and everything. That writer's room is indicative of what you see.
Right. Well,
Yes.
because look, because the other thing, again, going back to that whole joke that he told that got him in trouble the last time, that was clearly an improv joke. Well, not even a joke, just improv thing. When he said he was in there or whatever,
Yeah.
that was improv. The joke that was written before it and the joke about the counselor was in the writers' room, like you say. They're like, okay, say that. That's gonna get some headlines. They know.
Yeah.
But anyway.